A young woman's car is found smashed against a snowbank on a quiet New Hampshire road. Inside, her belongings are left behind. Her wallet, cell phone, and even a box of wine. Within minutes of a concerned neighbor calling the police, she vanishes. No footprints in the snow. No signs of struggle. Just silence. This isn't a scene from a mystery movie. It's what really happened on the night of February 9th, 2004. Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student with a promising future, simply disappeared after what looked like a minor car accident. For 2 decades, her case has remained one of America's most haunting modern mysteries. Why did she leave her dorm that day with no clear explanation? What was she running from or toward? Was she the victim of an accident, a crime, or something even stranger? The answers have eluded investigators, online detectives, and her own family for years. Tonight, we retrace Mora's final known steps and the chilling chain of events that began on that frozen road. The night everything changed, on the cold night of February 9th, 2004. A young woman named Maura Murray vanished without a trace. Her black Saturn was found crashed on a quiet road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The car was slightly damaged, but the scene was strange. The engine still warm, the airbags out, and no driver in sight. When police arrived just minutes later, Mora was gone. There were no footprints in the snow leading away from the car, and her belongings were still inside. It looked as if she had simply disappeared into thin air. What could make someone vanish so suddenly? Did she run away? Or did something terrible happen in those few minutes before the police arrived? That night marked the beginning of one of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries. A case that would confuse investigators and captivate the public for decades. The secret trip. Earlier that same day, Mora left her dorm room at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. She told her professors that there had been a death in her family and that she would be gone for a week. But the truth was, no one in her family had died. This lie would become one of the first major puzzles in her disappearance. Before leaving, she packed clothes, makeup, and some personal items. She also printed driving directions to Vermont, though no one knows exactly why she was heading there. Some believe she was planning a quiet getaway to clear her mind. Others think she was running from something or someone. The strange thing is, she didn't tell her friends, her boyfriend, or her family where she was going. That small, secret decision would change everything, leaving behind more questions than answers. The mysterious crash. Around 7:30 that evening, a local resident in Haverhill heard a loud thud outside. When they looked out, they saw Mora's car off the road, its front end slightly damaged and the airbag deployed. The woman inside appeared shaken, but unharmed. When a neighbor came out to offer help, Mora said she was fine and had already called AAA. But that wasn't true. Phone records later showed she never made that call. The neighbor returned home, thinking everything was under control. Within 10 minutes, the police arrived. By then, Mora was gone. Her car was locked, and there was no sign of her anywhere. It was snowing lightly, and there were no footprints leading away. How could someone disappear so completely in just a few minutes? That short gap in time has become one of the most mysterious moments in this entire case. What was she running from? In the days before she vanished, Mora's life seemed full of stress and confusion. She had crashed her father's car only a few days earlier, causing expensive damage. She had also been caught using a stolen credit card to order food. Friends said she seemed upset and emotional, even crying at work without explaining why. Her father, Fred Murray, said she was under a lot of pressure and might have wanted to take a break from everything. But what was she really thinking that day when she packed her car and drove north? Was she trying to escape her problems for a few days? Or was something more serious going on? These questions have followed her story ever since, leaving everyone to wonder if her trip was a cry for help or the first step towards something much darker. The confusing clues. When investigators searched Mora's car, what they found only made things stranger. Her wallet, credit cards, and phone were missing, but her clothes, school books, and a stuffed animal were still there. There were also several bottles of alcohol, including a box of wine that had spilled on the seat. It looked like she had planned to be away for a while, but not forever. The car showed no signs of another vehicle hitting it, and there was no sign of a struggle nearby. Some believe she left the crash to avoid getting into trouble for drinking and driving. Others think someone might have stopped to offer help, and she never made it past that moment. The more police searched, the fewer answers they found. Every clue only added another layer to the mystery, and the truth slipped further away. The theories begin. Soon after Mora's disappearance hit the news, theories began to flood in from every direction. Some people believed she had planned her escape, wanting to start a new life far from home. Others were sure she had met with foul play. Maybe someone picked her up from the roadside. Someone she didn't realize was dangerous. There were even claims that she had taken her own life, though no evidence ever supported that. The area where she disappeared is full of thick woods, deep snow, and old logging roads, making it easy for anyone or anything to vanish without a trace. As the search dragged on, the mystery grew deeper, and the line between fact and rumor started to blur. Everyone had a theory, but no one had the truth. Mora's story had become more than a disappearance. It had become a national obsession. The search that went nowhere. Police, search dogs, and volunteers spent days combing through the snowy woods and back roads around Haverhill. Helicopters flew overhead, and teams searched every nearby trail and riverbank. But after all that effort, there was nothing. The dogs followed Mora's scent for only about 100 yards before it suddenly stopped, as if she had been lifted off the ground or gotten into another vehicle. No footprints, no dropped belongings, no signs of struggle. It was as though she had simply melted into the night. The longer the search went on, the colder the trail became. Each day that passed made it harder to believe she had simply wandered away. Something about the scene didn't add up. The physical evidence said one thing, but the feeling in everyone's gut said another. Maura Murray didn't just disappear. Something happened to her. Online detectives take over. Years later, when the case began to fade from the headlines, a new kind of detective picked it up: the internet. Online communities, Reddit threads, and podcasts began investigating every detail of Mora's life and the night she vanished. Amateur sleuths analyzed police reports, phone records, and even satellite maps, hoping to find what others had missed. Some ideas were creative, others were wild, and many led nowhere. But their dedication kept the case alive, sparking documentaries, TV shows, and endless debates. While this new attention brought fresh eyes to the mystery, it also brought confusion and rumors that hurt Mora's family. Everyone wanted to solve the puzzle, but no one could agree on what really happened. The online search showed how deeply Mora's story had touched people, but it also showed how mystery and truth can easily get tangled in the digital world. Family and frustration. For Mora's family, the years since her disappearance have been filled with pain and unanswered questions. Her father, Fred Murray, has never stopped looking for her. He's walked through those woods countless times, searching for even the smallest clue. Her siblings have spoken publicly, hoping to keep her story alive. But as time goes on, frustration has grown. Theories spread online often twist facts or point fingers unfairly. Every new rumor feels like reopening an old wound. Still, they refuse to give up. They believe someone out there knows what happened, and that someday, the truth will come to light. Their strength and love for Mora have kept her case in the public eye, reminding everyone that behind the mystery is a real person, a daughter, a sister, a friend, who deserves answers, not endless speculation. The legacy of a mystery. More than 20 years later, Maura Murray's disappearance remains one of the most talked about missing person cases in America. It's a story that blends mystery, emotion, and unanswered questions in a way few others do. Each year, new people discover her case and become just as fascinated and frustrated as those who first heard it in 2004. Maybe that's why it endures, because it feels like the kind of mystery that could happen to anyone. A simple drive, a small crash, a quiet road, and then nothing. Whether Mora ran away, was taken, or met with an accident, one truth remains clear: she was never found. Her story reminds us that some mysteries aren't just puzzles to solve. They're echoes of real lives, frozen in time, still waiting for closure. Until that day comes, Maura Murray's name will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching and spending time exploring one of the most haunting mysteries of our time: the disappearance of Maura Murray. Her story reminds us how quickly an ordinary day can turn into something unimaginable, and how even the smallest clues can hold deep meaning. Whether she ran away, met with danger, or became lost forever, her case continues to raise questions about what really happened that night. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please hit the like button. It really supports the channel and helps more people discover these stories. Don't forget to subscribe for more valuable insights into true crime, unsolved mysteries, and real-life stories that keep us searching for the truth. Stay curious, stay kind, and remember, every mystery holds a lesson waiting to be uncovered. We'll see you in the next video with another story that might just surprise you.